Everybody, it's Cheryl from Tutoring with Cheryl. I'm the tech coach for tutors. And this week I was really reminiscing on my path to becoming a tutor. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I opted to tutor after I stopped teaching. Now, I had a tremendous uh, season as a teacher in the classroom. I worked for 32 years with some really amazing families in a really awesome school district. But as things wound down and I was getting closer and closer to retirement age, I was like, oh, I just don't think that I can show up and perform the way that I want to perform. And there was a lot of things going on in education 3 years ago that I wasn't necessarily super excited about. And a lot of it kind of came down to the reading strategies that were being taught that I just really could not get on board with. I just really struggled with this a lot of small group instruction in fifth grade. I felt like it was holding my kids back. We were using a lot of leveled readers. Some of my kids needed more of a phonics approach. It was more of like this whole language approach. And I just really felt like they needed a structured approach. So I had one more year to go. And I looked at my husband and I said, I cannot do this anymore. And he's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? Well, I was already, at that point, I had been tutoring for 2 years for a national company here in the United States. And that was going very, very well. And I was like, I think I'm going to try tutoring. What's the worst that can happen? I can end up loving it, getting a lot of kids, hating it, going to go get a job at a store. I didn't really care at that point. I was just like so done with the classroom. And it wasn't the kids necessarily, it was some of the kids, but it was really came down to a few kids having big behaviors, my frustration with the way reading was going, and the lack of support when there was a problem with behavior. That's really what it boiled down to. And I thought I didn't really need to have more time in the classroom. I'd done it. I loved it. I loved it. I still really miss it, but I just couldn't stay. So there started my journey. Like I said, the last 2 years of my teaching, I had been working for a national company. I'd got my feet wet into online tutoring. And so I had some experiences to draw upon, but I was trying to wrap my head around what if I wanted to do this myself and how could I potentially get this off the ground and then also get students? Because when you work for a company, they funnel them into you. And when you work on your own, you have to figure out a way to get them to come to you. So that's a little bit about what my story is about today. It was like, how did I overcome that? Like what, like, hmm, if I really wanted to do this and I really wanted to get started today, how would I do this? And I recently was sending out some emails to my email list, and somebody actually responded and said, this is a golden nugget. And I said, you only need one student to start. And if you follow me anywhere, you can hear some of my marketing techniques and the things that I have done to get students. And I didn't do a lot of things at the very beginning. I literally made a website. At the time, it was midwesttutor.com. I've now switched over to my Tutoring with Cheryl page. And I just put it out there and I started blogging because I'd gotten this advice that if you blog all the time, you'll make great SEO. People will then find you and then they'll want to work with you. And that did work, but it was really slow, like really slow. So I had this one family that saw the sign that I put on my car. So I put my website on my car. She's like, I saw that you're going to tutor. And she's like, I really need you to work with my child. And it was a family that I'd already taught her children. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll teach your child. And at the time, I was helping him with his math. We later discovered that he needed more assistance with some other things. And so we worked on those things. And when he met all the goals that he could meet with me, but yeah, he still needed assistance, I moved him on. But that was after 3 years. So I worked with him very extensively for 2 years and on and off for the third year. And then finally, we graduated him to a different math tutor who was doing the upper level math that I don't support kids in. But the story really centers around like, how do you figure out how to tutor online? And you have to have systems. So what you need to be able to do is you need to figure out how am I going to host my meetings. And right now I'm recording this in Google Meet, and Google Meet is free. I don't think you can record on it for free. I have a workspace account and I pay $99 a year to have that. It's the best $99 I could ever spend. So I spend money to, of course, make money. So I can make video tutorials like this, and then I can also host my students. on a platform. And so this is kind of like my platform. And when I first started out, I had a WordPress website and found that that was just blah, too clunky for me. I didn't, you go to school to be a teacher. You don't go to school to be a web designer. And I think WordPress is a powerhouse, and I highly recommend it for people who really understand it. I dove into it. I did a lot of research. I wasn't dissatisfied with my website. I was maybe a little bit more unsatisfied with my lack of being able to figure it out. So I was happened to be attending a program that was run by Kelly Dramsey and Michael Gibbon and Yolanda Duguay, and they were giving out 2 months of TutorBird for free. So I was like, oh, there we go. I'm going to try it. And I was never so glad that I tried it, because you have to have systems for scheduling, and you have to have systems for um, sending out invoices and for accepting payments, and for sharing emails and things like that. And what I found was I was putting all these things together through my Google uh, apps, which it absolutely will work. And if you want to low budget it, that's the way to go. But I was getting more and more students, and I was spending more and more time working on my business and actually doing my business. The teaching part, that I just had to figure out a way to make it easier. And I would definitely say that TutorBird made it a lot easier. So I mean, I sing their praises all the time. It's what I use. That doesn't mean that you have to use it. There's a lot of other things out there. Tutor Cruncher, Lesson Space, I don't know, whatever, Pencil Spaces. There's lots of things out there that can probably meet your needs. And I think you just have to explore it and figure out what you want. But the other thing comes down to the marketing piece. How is I going to figure out how to market? And again, I started out just initially by blogging, and I was getting students. So it's not that you can't get students by blogging, you absolutely can, but I didn't find a lot of joy in blogging. I mean, I had to do a lot of research, and I would spend several hours a week creating a blog that I could put up, and I was like, oh, this is just crazy. I'm spending so much time doing this. So that's when I finally made the switch over to social media and doing things like this, where I create video tutorials for other tutors, but I was also really focused on making videos for parents. And so that's kind of the gist of getting started. You can start with one student. You have to know what you want to tutor. How are you going to do it? Are you going to meet in person? Are you going to tutor online? And what systems are you going to use? And so I really want to encourage you that if you have not checked out my Tech Up for Tutors membership, I want you to come and join us. July, I am doing a deep dive into TutorBird, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you what TutorBird can do. Now, you can get on TutorBird and you can totally just go do your own thing. Go do your own thing, and you can figure out everything on your own through their little videos. But I got to tell you, once you see this, it is definitely the one that you want to see. Now, for that one, I will not be recording it. And the reason I'm not going to record it is because I'm not going to go through all the aspects of putting everything blurry. I'm just going to share with the people that are in the Tech Hub for Tutors, because they are just like me. They're hardworking educators, and they just want to see it. They have some questions. And so we're just going to dive in and do it. So if you have not signed up for the Tech Hub for Tutors, I want to make sure that you know where to go. So I'm going to pull up my website here really quickly. It is tutoringwithsheryl.tutorbird.com. And Sheryl is with an S, and I will just share it in the background. And here we go. You want to navigate from the home page and go over to the Tech Coach for Tutors. Okay. And I have 2 events coming up this month. One is about podcasts. Should you be a guest or a host? Okay. So that is going to be a pre-recorded and shared out with my group. And then this will be an invite only. TutorBird, how does Sheryl use it? And all my members are going to get a little message from me that says, hey, do you want to come and learn more? This one is not going to be videotaped. If you're not in the meeting within 5 minutes, then we're not having the meeting, because I'm not going to stick around for it. But I just recently did a tutorial on how to use hashtags. And if you want to grab my details there, you could just click this yes button, and it will take you right over here to my I guess it was a PowerPoint or my slideshow about it, and you can see that. But my Tech Hub for Tutors get the video that goes along with it. But you can come here and check things out and find out if the Tech Hub for Tutors is right for you. Hey, thanks for joining me today. Make sure that you figure out your systems. Who do you want to tutor and how you're going to get it done, how you're going to accept payments and all that. And if you want to learn more about that, come and join the Tech Hub for Tutors because I have a whole mini course in there all about how to do that. You guys make it a great day. And as usual, keep the learning going.